Is business slower than usual? Sales aren't high enough, or you're just not seeing people come back and visit your restaurant a second or third time? Well, that's why we're here to help. We're Tasteful Transformations, and we want to help you get your restaurant back on track. There's a lot that can affect a customer's experience at your restaurant. It's not just about the food being good or a server that keeps your drinks full. It's about creating an environment that people want to be in, where they feel welcome and can relax and enjoy themselves. There are so many things involved that play a part in their experience. Things like good food, drinks, daily specials, a friendly server who tries to build relationships with their guests, seeing the staff displaying good teamwork and attitude, and so on. These are things that guests pay attention to, even if we don't realize it. Founded in 2011, Tasteful Transformations began when a group of friends noticed their favorite local restaurant struggling with declining service and quality, and leading to negative reviews, and nearly forced it to close. Determined to help, they developed a strategic plan and presented it to the owner. Their efforts not only revitalized the restaurant, but also laid the foundation for Tasteful Transformations. We started our business in Carrollton, Georgia, but have developed nationwide. Here at Tasteful Transformations, our mission is to empower our clients to transform their restaurants into unforgettable dining experiences for their guests through innovative strategies, operational excellence, and exceptional service. At Tasteful Transformations, we are driven by our 4 core values: integrity, respect, collaboration, and passion. We believe in establishing your trust by doing what is right, treating each client and team member with respect, and working together to bring your passion to life. We have already helped restore dozens of restaurants, and we know that we can help you too. Hi, I'm Laurel Rainwater. I'm one of the co-founders of Tasteful Transformation. My personal expertise is in customer service and communication. I tend to focus more on restaurants that have a lot of reviews based on customer service issues. To me, this is one of the most crucial parts of a successful business, and that is why it is my main focus. Having an incorrect food order is one thing. Mistakes happen, and most people are understanding of that. However, the way they are treated or undercompensated for the inconvenience that was not on them is what sticks with people. That's what creates the experience. Customer service is such an important part of someone's experience at your establishment, and that's what I'm here to help with. Someone having a bad experience with a rude or uncaring server, or worse, a rude manager, is really what turns people away. These kind of occurrences are also would lead people to write bad reviews about your restaurant. And we all know when a place has plenty of bad reviews, we typically don't want to find out for ourselves how true they are. Castillo Real is a family-owned local Mexican restaurant that is very popular and a lot of people's first choice of Mexican restaurant in this area. It has been in business since 2002 and is popular for their birria tacos. But there is at least 5 other Mexican restaurants within a 15-minute drive of Castillo Real. Sticky Cactus is one that's right around the corner. El Catrine is not even a 10-minute drive away. And Macon Street Tacos is about 12 minutes away and is a quick, speedy taco place that has a full bar. They all advertise serving authentic Mexican food. And let's face it, you can get a margarita anywhere. This is why the overall customer experience needs to be excellent so that people want to come to your establishment, even though there are dozens of other options around them. Some strengths of this restaurant are people mention their food is good. There's nice big size portions, not skimpy little tacos. That they have a friendly and efficient servers. And in one review, they stated how welcoming and cozy the atmosphere was. This is what you want to hear from your guests. Another strength that was mentioned in a review by a customer was how clean this restaurant is. She even went as far as to say it was superb, which is so important that your guests come into a restaurant and can see how clean it is. You don't want to eat somewhere that looks questionable. And when you walk into a restaurant, if the dining room looks a mess, you're wondering what the kitchen looks like. So it's always important that your guests acknowledge how clean that your restaurant is. Other reviews also mention that there's plenty of vegetarian friendly options on the menu, which is important because there are a lot of people that don't eat meat and they need to feel included as well. All right, let's get into the weaknesses this restaurant has. There are several reviews saying how the management is very rude and unprofessional when there is a problem. That is huge. Having a 16-year-old server that's rude is one thing, but someone who is supposed to be a leader, who is supposed to be in charge, who is supposed to accommodate and make things right, be rude and unprofessional and do nothing to try to accommodate any sort of inconvenience, that is unacceptable. You're a manager. You should be able to deal with people. You should want to accommodate your guests when things go wrong on y'all's end as a restaurant. That is a big thing. And there was plenty of comments stating the customer service is very poor. And that is what I want to help you guys work on as a team. On the opposing side of what another guest commented, saying how welcoming and cozy the atmosphere was, another guest did not have the same experience. They claimed that they waited for 15 minutes to be sat when the restaurant wasn't busy at all, which is a big problem. And then it took a while to get their drinks and their food. And at that point, you as a guest just feel like a bother when you're just there to enjoy yourselves, eat good, and relax. And another thing that was mentioned is how bar drinks lack consistency. Some reviews talk about how good they are, the best margaritas I've ever had. And other guests say that their drinks were watered down, or they've had a bad experience with watching the manager make their drinks and they're putting barely any alcohol in there, filling it up this much with ice and charging them for a very large drink. Bar drinks have to be consistent. If your food's not good or your service lacks or your wait time's long, drinks are what's going to hold people over. So that at least has to be good. And lastly, this also goes with customer service, but there was plenty of reviews talking about how this restaurant does discriminate against people of color. It does not matter what somebody looks like, if you think they're going to be a problem or if you think they're going to be easy, if you think they're going to tip or if they're not going to tip. Regardless of what that person looks like, they chose to be at your restaurant. There was plenty of other options. They chose to dine with you in your establishment. You should feel honored for that. You should be excited to take care of them because guess what? They're bringing you business. So there being several reviews of people saying how this restaurant does treat different races differently is a huge problem. Like, you're not only losing that demographic of people, but you're also going to lose people that agree that everybody should be treated equally no matter what. That is going to be huge in the decline of sales. It's good to know your strengths and why people enjoy coming to your establishment so that you can maintain those things. However, it is even more crucial to know the areas you lack in. This plays the biggest role in the decline of sales and business you bring in. When people see multiple reviews stating that a place has bad customer service, 9 times out of 10, they're going to skip over your restaurant and go somewhere else. The reviews people leave about your establishment can either make or break your business. We want to help you. I have a couple of recommendations for some things that can greatly improve those bad reviews and make your Mexican restaurant everyone's number one choice. 1. Accommodate guests when there has been an exceedingly long wait on their food, whether that is by offering a slight discount at the end of their meal, a free dessert, or a free appetizer the next time they visit. Offering something like a free appetizer in their next visit increases their chancing of returning, because now they want to come back because they know that they're not going to have to pay for something. But also, that shows that you care about their weight. That shows that you care about their business and that you want their business. 2. Managers doing table touches, making their way around the restaurant, communicating with guests, and checking in on how their experience is going, especially if there's been any sort of mistake. The manager should make it a priority to speak with guests and listen to their concerns from an understanding place. And once again, make any sort of accommodations necessary to ensure that you don't lose that business. Show that you care. 3. Having set bar recipes for all drinks. No bartender should just be back there winging it and making up their own recipes, as this easily leads to inconsistencies in drinks. Staying on top of your liquor count and your bar cost will not only help your pockets, but will also help ensure that your bartenders are following the recipes. One of the threats to this establishment is, again, giving all customers the exact same treatment and respect. Whatever they look like, they chose to be at your restaurant, and you should feel honored by that, especially when there's dozens in the area. All guests are paying guests. Treating a certain demographic in a distasteful manner is a huge loss in business, and that is not only offensive to that demographic, but to others who agree with that. Another threat to this business is being a rude or unprofessional manager. A manager is someone who is supposed to be a leader for their staff. They set the example. You can't have a manager who is willing to argue with guests about mistakes made on the restaurant's part and expect to have a welcoming and friendly professional staff. Learn to listen to the guests, to genuinely understand why they're upset, where they're coming from, and care enough to accommodate to make things right. This type of unprofessionalism from a manager will ensure that guests have no desire to return from your establishment. And what kind of example is that setting for your staff, your other team members? Another issue that's a problem in a lot of restaurants, but is having long wait times when there's plenty of open seating. While people who have worked in the food service industry know that an open table doesn't always mean an available table, most guests don't. Most people see several tables open and are confused as to why they're not being sat. Even if it's the kitchen's backed up, they don't understand why they cannot sit at the table. The best thing you can do is to get the guests sat and just start them off with some waters, chips, and salsa. That's way better than leaving them waiting at the front door, where they have plenty of time to be scrolling looking for other restaurants around the area that's going to sit them sooner. In this SWOT analysis chart, I have highlighted some of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of your business. In conclusion, reviews left by your guests that have visited your establishment can either make or break your business. It is important to stay on top of reading them to see what areas you and your staff need to improve on or continue to maintain. I recommend checking them every week and discussing with your team. If you have received a new good review, be sure to give your staff praise and let them know how well they're doing. If it is a poor review, make sure to discuss with your staff what happened, why it happened, and better ways the situation could have been handled, and how to improve so that doesn't happen again. When someone wants Mexican for dinner and they Google Mexican restaurants near me, dozens of places are going to come up. They're going to choose somewhere that, one, has a high overall rating, which only increases by getting so many 5-star reviews. 2, has very few negative reviews. And 3, has plenty of positive reviews based on customer service. Having these things are sure ways that people will choose your restaurant over the many other options they have. I have enjoyed being able to research your restaurant and provide some recommendations that will ensure a continuously successful business. I look forward to checking back in the future and seeing plenty of positive reviews and 5-star ratings. Please feel free to reach out to us at any time if you have any questions or concerns or just want to chat about some things. You can reach us via email at info@tastefultransformations.com or through phone at 770-823-TAST, which is 8278. And if you just want to learn more about our background and see our other restaurants that we've helped and get a better understanding of our credibility and what we do and how we do it, you are more than welcome to go to our website at tastefultransformations.com. One more thing before you go, we do have a little something for you for considering us to help you make your restaurant as successful as possible. A Yeti cup to help keep you hydrated and your drink cold enough through those long, busy shifts. It also includes a business card inside of it that, again, has our website, phone number, and email where you can reach us at. We at Tasteful Transformations appreciate your time and consideration, and we would love to be able to help you get your business back to where you want it to be.